One of the things that probably surprises people is that I make a little over $100,000 a year at my main job, and I still ended up around $100,000 in debt. That's part of what makes this hard to talk about, because from the outside it sounds like I should have everything under control. But the reality is, income alone doesn't fix bad habits, emotional spending, or years of avoiding the bigger picture. If I'm being real, my issues with money started way before any of this. I actually filed for bankruptcy back in 2002. So this isn't just about one bad decision or one rough stretch. A lot of this comes down to patterns and habits that I never fully dealt with over the years. But looking back now, I can see that things really started accelerating for me around 2015 when I bought my first house. At that time, I was only making around $35,000 a year. I had also just started working toward my bachelor's degree, and honestly, buying a house felt like a huge milestone for me, huge. I was excited. I wanted the house to feel finished, and I wanted to feel prepared. So I started buying tools, updating things, financing projects like the bathroom, and at the time it all felt manageable because it was spread across different cards and payments. Then after I finished my degree around 2017, I was able to get a better job and increase my income to around $60,000 a year. But instead of slowing things down financially, I think that higher income just made me more comfortable continuing the same habits. Around that time, I'd also bought a newer vehicle. Then about a year later, I convinced myself I needed a truck because I was hauling things around for the house. And little by little, financing things just started feeling normal. One thing I realized looking back is that I got way too comfortable using credit because it didn't feel as painful as watching money leave my bank account. So even when I technically had cash, I still charged things. And over time, all those small decisions just stacked on top of each other. Eventually, I started feeling the pressure from all the debt. And instead of really confronting it, I shifted into survival mode. I stopped thinking about the total debt and started thinking things like, what can I float until my next paycheck? What card still has room on it? And once you get into that mindset, it's hard to feel like you're actually making progress. Then eventually, when my neighbors sold their house, it felt like I finally saw a way out. So I sold mine too. For a while, it actually felt like I had fixed the problem. But looking back now, I realized I had mostly just reset the situation without really changing the habits underneath it. When I bought my next house, a lot of those same patterns slowly started happening again. Then toward the end of 2025, I finally sat down and looked at everything together. Not just individual payments, not just minimums, everything. That was a wake-up call for me. That's also what led to the 401k hardship withdrawal I talked about in my first video. At the time, it felt like the only way to finally get ahead of everything. But I rushed into it, didn't fully think through the tax consequences, and ended up creating another problem for myself in the process. I think the biggest thing I've learned through all of this is that making good money doesn't automatically mean you're good with money. And avoiding the problem only makes it grow quietly in the background. So now I'm trying to do things differently. I'm budgeting, tracking everything, paying attention, and actually being honest with myself about where I'm at financially. It's definitely uncomfortable talking about this publicly. But I also know I'm probably not the only person who's been through something like this. I'm sure there's a lot of people. So I'm going to keep documenting the process as I work my way out of it. Maybe we can do this together.